The off-season is not a time for hibernation, but an opportunity for strategic planning and productivity. By setting clear goals, optimizing operations, investing in your team, enhancing back-end processes, and joining a supportive community, you can lay the groundwork for a successful and profitable 2024 season. With a Launchpreneur Academy Link membership, you can actually engage with other industry professionals, access valuable resources, and even find mentors who can provide fresh perspectives and ideas for your business. Learning from others' experiences is a powerful way to navigate challenges and foster growth. Get started today with your Link membership at launchpreneuracademy.com or use the link in the podcast description.
You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no-nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Welcome back. So excited to have you guys here. We're going to be doing a great guest interview for you guys today. I actually know I said that, with a little premise here, a preface, being a great guest interview. So high expectations here, but I know this gentleman for a couple of years now. I actually got to link up with him in person down in Orlando, Florida, and I'm really excited about sharing him with you guys today. He's got a great story. He's very active on social media. Some of you guys even know his page and follow him. But really quick, Mr. Jolly Roger, welcome to the show. How are we doing this morning, brother?
What's going on, Brian? How you doing, man?
Doing good. We're before we hit record, we're just catching up a little bit. I'm going to be down there hopefully next week with the family. So I said, hey, if there's a possibility, we got to link up. And I'm just checking in. I'm like, how's Florida? Are we getting the 60s Florida, the 70s Florida, the 90s Florida? Like, where are we at? So give me the real-time update. Where are we at, brother?
You got it. Well, the weather's a little bit different down here, with that scientific El Nino, whatever it's called. So it's a little bit cooler. It's a little bit damper. Everybody's got their parkas on, walking around at 60 degrees. So we're all frozen. So 60
degrees. It's 14 degrees here today, bro. 14. Yeah. Good luck with that. That's That's living the dream for me. I saw on the 10-day, there's some 75s and 78s though. I'll take that. That's comfortable right there. I could live all day in 68 to 75-ish. That would be perfect,
Yeah, that is perfect, in that 70 range. And the best thing about Florida is if it's going to rain, it's not an all-day rain. It's going to be a sporadic rain. So it's going to blow through in the morning, kind of clear out in the evening time or vice versa. It's rare that it's a all-day saturation. Those events are...
What do you guys do in that scenario? We got a whole bunch of stuff to unpackage, but while we're talking weather, what do you guys do in that scenario? Do you just grab breakfast, grab lunch or something, eat a burrito? What do you guys do?
Well, here recently, like 6 months ago, I picked up a 15 by 25 storage building. So I have all my stuff in a storage building now. And so I'll take the crew and we'll just go do some maintenance on those all day saturation days.
Okay.
And it won't be an all day event. And, we'll get to the storage building, a little bit later that morning and then cut out at lunchtime. But go through, kind of change out filters of everything, mix up some new gas, clean everything, what we can inside the storage building without getting, really wet and stuff. So, But, we try to fill a little bit of gap. And then I come home and do a little bit more work on the business itself and trying to create all these new things that I need to create, which I've kind of put off the last couple of years.
Yeah. Well, no, that makes sense. Anything to stay productive for an hour or two, and then I'm sure you guys are right back at it, That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, if the elephant in the room, your name's not actually Jolly Roger, if you guys are listening in, but we're going to go a little bit in alias today. One thing that when you guys do a podcast with us, I do a little bit of vetting and just make sure that, there's a good story to tell or something different or unique. But I try to be super respectful of people's wants and needs or wishes. Some people don't want to talk revenue. Some people don't want to talk about partners or investors, or maybe they live next to a side of town or an area of town where they don't want to be known. It sounds kind of weird, but not everybody wants to be rich and famous or known, maybe the rich part, but maybe not known that you're doing so well, quote unquote. There's some other guys that I can give some examples on YouTube that they just do not show their face. They don't show their kids. They don't show their family.
Right.
And so I totally get that in today's day and age. And so, Mr. Jolly Roger here, and I know his name, and I've got to meet him in person a little bit, but we're going to go with that alias today. And a couple,
right.
you got a couple other aliases going on. So multiple personality disorder over here. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah, that's it.
As I said it out loud, I'm like, wait a minute here.
Right.
But for anybody who, you still have some great social media presence. You're growing your lawn and landscaping business. Maybe like take them from the top. Like what's your background? How'd you get started doing all this? And what's the actual name of your company if people do want to follow along?
Sure. Well, it's Splash of Green Landscaping, and I go by Yard Pirate on pretty much everything for IG, for Facebook, and starting to dabble into the TikTok world, which I don't get it, but it's cool, right?
Give me your best R.
So that's my slogan. With all the videos that I do, I start off, give me your best R, and then I go into whatever I'm doing. So everything's kind of pirate themed. Jolly Roger is actually my alias name. I try to stay faceless and nameless on all the social media accounts. Now, if you really wanted to look up everything, you can go to Florida because everything's registered and stuff, and you can figure out my name and whatever the case may be. But, a lot of people aren't going to do that,
Sure.
So it's all pirate themed. Flash of Green Landscaping is actually the phenomenon of the sun setting over the water. You get that flash of green every now and again. And so many people know that I've named my company Flash of Green, that when Flash of Greens happen all over the globe, I will get tagged into those events that happen. There was a Flash of Green in Hawaii today. There was a Flash of Green in Costa Rica today, and it's really cool that, people have embraced my pirate themed business, that I get all kinds of stuff that's pirate themed coming from everywhere. It's really cool. Late last night.
Well, let me interrupt. Yeah. I was going to say, this sounds so stupid, but Pirates of the Caribbean, isn't that like when the boat turned upside down and it flashed or something like that? Isn't that they call the sunset?
You're absolutely right. On movie 3, when they flip the boat upside down, the flash of green represents a soul coming back.
Oh, okay.
And,
okay.
And so there's a lot of deep meaning in what I do with my company moving forward. And it means so much more, that we can get into at a later date if you would like.
Well, I got to remember because, y'all think you're so smart out there, and I catch on. I watch, I look. I'm an observer. I'm a simpleton. I come from the streets of Milford, and Liz comes from the hood of Dearborn. We pay attention to stuff like that. I'm like, there's more there. You know what I mean? We're always we always psychoanalyze stuff. So I didn't know that's what the flash of green means, but that's actually dude, you could go 5 levels deep on the elevator on that one. That's so cool.
Yeah, honestly, wow. From the past there.
Yeah.
But anyhow,
we'll continue. Yeah.
Yeah. So everything's pirate themed, and then just last night, one of the people or a person on the IG had sent me, man, check out these little coins that you can get that are pirate coins that you can pass out for achievements, kind of like what the military does or law enforcement does or firefighters do. They have their own achievement coin, and which is larger than a $50 coin. Really nice looking coin. I'm like, man, I'm thinking about buying some of those and just give them to, my crew members or, certain clients that have gone above and beyond for us, and so it's pretty cool.
I like
just
it.
Giving back a little bit.
You got an endless theme of a trove to pull from, with ideas and themes or inspiration with that. So the yard pirate, where did that come into play? Because you said it's in Flash of Green Landscaping, right? So is that all pirate themed, and that's just what you wanted to do? Was it because you guys, have a coastal, living or background or something like that down in Florida? Where did you come up with all that?
Well, it stems back to when I was I'm currently 48 years old, and I've been mowing for only 3 years of my life. I've never been on a zero turn until I was 45 years old.
Okay, fair enough.
And so the pirates do come back all the way back to my late teenage years when I joined the military. And I was in the U.S. Army, and the Army's got so many rules and everything that, my alter ego was being a pirate, being that unruly kind of person. I played well with people, but I also, defied what I was told to do, every now and again.
Sure.
So it just kind of took over at that point, and it's grown since then. And then in early 2000s, when the actual Pirates of the Caribbean came out, well, that really springboarded everything that I do. Stickers on the back of your vehicles, shirts that you'd wear or hats that you wear. You just kind of like the pirate theme just kind of kept growing and growing and growing. And at one point, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to make my company who I am without my name being on the company. And
that's awesome.
And it just grew from there.
That's awesome.
And became Yard Pirate. And then Yard Pirate turned into going a step deeper and calling it Flash of Green Landscaping.
That's awesome. That's all. It is really, really cool to see all that come together. I'm always, it's just so fun hearing the startup story. I don't know any other way to say it. Like people go, man, every podcast kind of sounds the same with guest interviews. We all got started cutting grass when we were 10, and we started this thing at 20, and then here we are with 5 guys, 4 crews, and doing $500,000. And I'm like,
right.
I'm like, yeah, dude, but like you got to look for those nuances. That's what's always so exciting to me by getting you guys on the show. It is so cool to hear the different names. Like a lot of you guys know Paul with Bitch and Lawns, and somebody was like,
"Oh yeah,
it's so right. It's so funny how his company name came up, right, and that says bitching on the side of his trailer, and it's just, you got to know Paul, you got to know his bravado,
right.
But there's other guys that have like themed businesses like that, and it's really, really cool to see how you can incorporate your creativity and imagination into it's an extension. What do they call it? An extension of your ethos, your ego, your life, your philosophy into your company, and you can have as much fun with it as you want. It doesn't have to be, J&M outdoor property management. Like it doesn't always have to be so rigid. So take it away if you want to continue on the story, but I love it, man.
Yeah, it's a reflection of who I am, internally, no doubt. Yeah. And I'm so excited about 2024 because I just ordered custom made shirts for the crew. Dropped $1,700 on these shirts, but yeah, they're coming. I've got another graphic artist working on my trailer wrap, and I'm going to throw this out there now. When I release this trailer wrap and it's on my new trailer, which is the enclosed trailer, I call it Big Ocean Blue because it's a big, beautiful blue trailer. Okay. Like a royal blue trailer. When I put that wrap on there, I'm going to throw it out there. It is going to be the most unique wrap in all the country when it comes to lawn maintenance.
Okay.
I promise you. It's going to be a moving pirate ship.
What?
Just say something. Dude.
I like that.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. Really cool.
So let me ask you about this, because you got the branding. You seem like you're finding a lot of fulfillment, enjoyment, and that's a fun aspect of it. Some people honestly super struggle with the name, the colors, the logos. I still do. I mean, my company, I'm 17, 18 years into this thing, and listen, I still all the time talk about, hey, do we want to rebrand? Do we want to go somewhere different? Because I got started with my name and what I did. I thought that's just what you do, Sure. But you can chop that up 100 different ways. But let me take you back more to the business side of things, because you said you're 48, I think, right now.
Correct.
You start. Now, did your affinity and enjoyment, I guess, maybe for cutting grass or tree pruning or landscape work, did that start at 45? What was the catalyst for doing something different or using a lawnmower that other than your homeowner stuff? When did you decide to start this business?
Well, that great question, and it goes back to 2020. Now. Let me tell you about my part-time work. For 27 years, I worked at the Bloomin' Brand as a server or bartender. And the Bloomin' Brand is Outback, Bonefish, Carrabba's, and Fleming's. Okay. And so in 2020, I'm a full-time bartender at Bonefish, just south of Animal Kingdom on 192 in Kissimmee. So, and then of course, COVID hit, and we could not work. And the green industry found me at that time. So I had a friend that called me up, and he owned his own lawn maintenance company, and he had to have emergency surgery. And he was looking for somebody to operate his company for the next month.
Okay.
And he calls me up and says, Jolly Roger, he's like, you're the only person that I think can operate this and do it the way that I know you do everything that you've done in your life. And I said, Randy, I've never been on a 0-turn mower. I mean, I wouldn't know what I'm doing. He's like, man, you got this. I mean, you can do anything. I know you can, and you can operate my company and go from there. And so it's like, you know what? I have nothing else to do. It's COVID time. I'm not doing anything. I'm twiddling my thumbs. We didn't get all that money that the rest of the country did down here in Florida.
Sure.
They were extremely stingy about handing out money down here. So I'm like, all right, let's make the switch. Let's work with Randy, work his company while he has surgery and goes through the recovery. Got in there, started doing it. Summer of 2020, I took care of all of his properties, which he had like 40 something properties he was doing. And then also a gigantic nursing home, like 26-acre nursing home. So he had a full load. Jumped in there, quickly learned everything. It took a couple of weeks to figure out how to do, everything when it came to trimming and, sawing. And because I'd never run a chainsaw either at that point.
Okay, that's fair.
And so it was just learn. And then I got into it, and 3 weeks into it, I look at my wife and I say, you know what? I think I can do this. I
right.
think, this is calling my name, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I sat down. It was probably late summer 2020. I sat down and I Google, learn to operate a lawn care company. And what pops up first? Launchpreneur Academy.
No
I'm like,
way.
okay,
Heck
what's
bro.
this?
Heck yeah.
So I explore that, and I find, all your YouTube stuff. So I start binge watching all your YouTube stuff from the very beginning. And then here we are, August of 2020. And I open up an LLC on 8/12/20.
Okay.
And numbers mean a lot to me. So August 8th, on the 12th date, which 8 plus 12 equals 20. I know that's kind of a little cheesy, but that's what I did.
That works.
So LLC'd it on August of 2020. Did a super soft rest of the year on my own. Bought all my equipment in September. I financed my mower, but then I paid cash for everything else. The starting trailer, all the steel equipment that I used. So, and then I did about $4,000 from September to December. And I don't remember exactly the numbers that I had, but maybe about 12 yards, a couple of them being a 5-acre properties. So I was able to make about $4,000. I think I did like 1 or 2 landscaping jobs during that time too. And this is all learning.
Okay, right.
I had no idea what the heck I was doing. Along the way, around September, October, I found Keith Kelfus and started binge watching him.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, ordered his book on, taking a landscaping company from 0 to 100K. I don't remember the title of it, but, read that and then just continued to grow, got into 2021. And then it kind of took off residential wise in 2021. And I'm still doing bartending. We're back to work, after the pandemic kind of softened up and everything started opening back up. So I'm back to work in 2021, bartending at Bonefish, and then also mowing in the morning time. So I'm juggling both at this point, full-time bartending, part-time mowing. It was going extremely well in 2021 that at the end of December of 2021, I decided to step away from the restaurant business completely. Okay. After 27 years of working either full-time or part-time in the restaurant business, I said, okay, I've had enough. I'm going to go ahead and try to do this lawn care company and do it full-time and see where it goes from there.
That's incredible. So that's incredible. Well, I was going to say, I paused for dramatic effect, but I was like, dude, 27 years and you've shifted gears now to your own business. I mean, first off, I know the restaurant business enough. My family's restaurants dude, I've been as a busboy or a food runner. I've never served, but I've always worked in my uncle's restaurants. I mean, forever. You want to talk about and then Little Caesars, which I know it's a fast food joint, but I was always the night manager. So I was working, 1 to 10s all the time, 6-7 days a week. Right. Restaurants are, they're usually nights and weekends, and so for 27 years, you got family. kids, and then all of a sudden you run your own business, and you get done with your first long day, and it's 4, 5, 6 o'clock, and then you're actually home. Probably made more money that day than you did in a week. And you have your evening. I mean, sometimes we take this stuff for granted, but tell me about that. I mean, was that a lifestyle shock or a change, better, worse? What were your thoughts there?
That was exhausting times, really, in 2021.
Yeah.
Because bartending, I mean, the restaurant might close at 11 o'clock, but you're not done cleaning the bar and the restaurant till 1:30 in the morning.
Right.
And
Yep.
that thing has to be inspection ready in the morning time because, your inspectors pop in the first thing in the morning because they want to see how did you leave it at night. So every night, clean, and then get home at 1:30 in the morning, and you have to wind down a little bit. I wouldn't get into bed about 2 a.m. And then it was up at 6:30, let's go. Let's pull everything out the garage and let's get going,
Sure.
and then I'd mow till about noon, Monday through Thursday. And then, because I didn't have that many clients, so I didn't have to actually stretch it, a full, Monday through Friday or even into Saturday. It
Sure.
was just basically a Monday through Thursday. And then go bartend at night. But, I had to do that sacrifice to get to where I am today,
Right. No, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. Well, I'm excited for you. And then how did that go then? You said that was the year you quit. Was that the first year you did a soft year, or was that the second year? Like, well, I guess you guys don't really have like a spring rush like we do. I'm sure it kind of ramps up January, February for you guys. For us, it's like 0 to 100, mid to late March. And then it's like you got to do it's like a Christmas rush for 8 weeks. But when did you decide to go full time, and how did that conversation look like?
So in 2021, I was part-time and then full-time bartender. And I had actually made $79,000 in 2021.
Okay.
And that's of course revenue. That's not, money in my pocket,
Sure. Yeah, right.
That's learning the business, I want to say. So I stepped into full-time January of 2022, and then it started picking up. I ended up getting up to like 42 residential clients. And then most importantly, I had actually restaurants sign on in 2022. I had 3 restaurants sign on January of 2022 and started working restaurants. And then I noticed there's this void of restaurants having really good landscaping, and started looking around. And so I started putting my name out at other restaurants. And then in the summer of 2022, I picked up a couple more restaurants. So now I have like 40 plus residential. I have like 5 restaurants, and I'm working pretty well for 2022. End up making or breaking $100,000, just over the $100,000 mark for 2022. My first year full time.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. Great job.
Yeah, appreciate it. Leading into last year, 2023. And in 2023, I have steady growth. I actually reduced down the residential properties that I did, but the quality went up. So I picked up a lot of 5-acre properties in our area. A lot of my cookie cutter properties dropped off of me. But then most importantly, this past summer, I had an explosion of restaurants. Suddenly I had 6 more restaurants sign on. So I ended with 2023 doing 11 restaurants. I've got 3 more restaurants that are signing on here in January. So that's steadily growing. At the end of 2023, I showed numbers at 152. So it was only a $50,000 revenue jump, but it was still pretty good. You know, even though I lost residential clients, I gained in the residential side or the restaurant side.
Now, as your business is evolving, are you having any help with you along the way, or is this all solo? Because 150 solo is really good. That's incredible. I mean, what do they say? Like, stay small, keep it all. I would imagine that's a pretty decent little lifestyle. I mean, that's okay. I think that's an awesome business.
That is awesome business if I was your age. Now,
there you go.
I got to take that in consideration. I'm currently 48, so, and I'm looking at 49 here in another couple months. So no, that's not solo. That's actually having a revolving door of 1 part-time, if 2 part-time people.
Okay.
On my restaurant route now, I actually hire 2 part-time guys to come help me do all the restaurants. And we try to knock out all the restaurants on a Monday. We'll get up at 5 in the morning. We have the trailer. We're booking at 2. Our very first stop is on I Drive in Orlando. It's where the big Ferris wheel is.
Okay.
Our very first stop is there. And we're there and gone before the sun even comes up. Simply because that area is really, really, it has a lot of rules, a lot of restrictions that all construction has to be done. I mean, everything has to be done before 10 a.m., before people start coming in that area, because they shut down the roads and everything that go through the Icon Park area, so everybody can walk around. There's street vendors and stuff.
Yeah.
So you have to be, real quick. All right. And
by the way,
so we're there and done.
I was going to say, I got to interrupt because the Icon Park was a really fun place. We went there with our family.
Oh, it's awesome.
When I linked up with you, was that last year or 2 years ago?
That was 21.
I think we went back again last year then, because I remember going to the Icon Park because I think like a week later that accident happened on that tower.
Oh yeah.
I was like, hate to say it, but dodged a bullet, there. And
right.
Somebody fell to their, death. Unfortunately, it was wild. I'm like,
unfortunately,
I was like, weren't we just there like 3 days ago? But we rode that Ferris wheel. That is the coolest Ferris wheel. A little shout out for Icon Park. But
Icon Park is a really cool area.
My wife was like, I don't do Ferris wheels. I'm like, I don't do Ferris wheels. You ain't putting me in some bucket. Now you got to understand, like our experience with Ferris wheels, folks, by the way, is like your local state fair that comes through and it's put together by, questionable people maybe sometimes. And so, and then you see this one, like I've rode the Navy Pier one in Chicago, I think it is. Liz and I rode the one in Icon Park. We've kind of actually enjoyed riding these larger Ferris wheels. I'm like, hey, I think there's one in London, and I think there's one that's like 3 times the size in Dubai. And Liz is like, I'm, not going to Dubai. I'm like, I go to Dubai tomorrow. If anybody wants to go to Dubai, hit me up. We'll take a bro trip.
There you go.
Liz is that's a 0 for her. She has no interest. But yeah, I was just gonna say, shout out to the Icon Park. Ferris wheel, because it was like all at night. It was all like that lit up blue and beautiful Ferris wheel, beautiful area. So that all has to get done. You're saying before like the outdoor park, like the Disney Springs, the Icon Park.
Yeah.
That's all before 10 a.m.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, all before 10 a.m. That has to be completed. So that's our first stop, and we're literally done before the sun comes up on Mondays, and we're off to the rest of our restaurants.
Wow.
Our restaurant route is now 12 restaurants throughout the Orlando area, stemming from Seminole County, Orange County, and Osceola County. So it's an all-day run on Mondays and Mondays only.
Okay. Give me while we're here on this topic, give me like 1 or 2 tips if you don't mind. What have you learned working with commercial accounts, restaurants, especially like the big chains that, like you said, that like Yum Foods that owns 10 different brands, or this guy that owns 8 different brands. What have you noticed about payment terms, work? Yeah, I mean, it can always sometimes slow down, with the communication. So any tips, or, because I mean, they seem like anchor accounts for you. So I'm sure there's some value there.
Sure. Well, the one tip I'm going to have for you is it's not the restaurant that you need to know. It's the home office, wherever that home office might be. You need to find a contact in the home office. So when you have payment issues, you can contact that person and say, hey, we need to get on the ball with, these invoices. And I just recently had to do that. In middle of December, I sent back to home office. These are all the invoices that are still open in my system, which equaled $24,000, and they stem back to the June, July area.
Wow.
And
wow.
Yeah, and restaurants are super slow. I mean, they literally will tell you we have a 60 to 90 day payout. Every 60 to 90 days, that's when you're going to get a check. So you better have some capital, for your expenses today, because you're not going to get that money for 60 to 90 days, and it's really inconsistent money. One check might be for $1,200. One check might be for $6,000.
Right.
It's really inconsistent how they pay. And that's really, really hard to learn, and really, really hard to budget yourself as you're moving forward.
Yeah, because you think it's this anchor account. Oh, like endless weeds to pull, or Roundup to spray, or mulch beds, or pine straw, or pruning, and you're like, yeah, dude, this place needs a ton of work for that macaroni grill, whatever the hell it is. Mm-hmm. But then, like you said, you realize you got to talk to somebody down in, I guess up in Virginia, to get your restaurant paid, and they don't have boots on the ground. they need they need logs. Then they start rebuttaling stuff after 3 months. They're like, well, how do we actually know you pulled weeds, or how did you know that we actually had a salt run? That was 3 months ago. And it's like, dude, you better have a point of contact and good contracts, and be very clear in communication and expectations. I think those are some solid tips you just shared.
Yeah, you have to be very clear. And all my proprietors for all my restaurants have my direct line, and I have their direct line. And it is text back and forth all the time. Hey, flash of green, we need this tree has tilted over. We need it put back up. Well, the next day I'm running out there to do it. Because they are solid accounts. They might pay late and 120 days later, but I know I'm going to get paid.
Sure. Sure.
And all my restaurants are from the Bloomin' brand. And this comes from my connection of being a Bloomin' brand employee for 27 years. And I lead with that when I go to a new restaurant. When I go to a new Outback I've never been at, I always tell them and make that connection. I've been in your shoes. Right. I've been inside this restaurant for many, many years. I know how it operates. I know what people are looking for on the outside now when it comes to landscaping. And I can help you improve this. And that's how I've been able to gain all these restaurants the last couple of months, and hopefully it continues on that way for me.
And that's I was just listening to Corey Ballard and Lee Romaines, the Green Grind. They've had all the Entrepreneur Academy, people going through the mill because they came out to LAL in November, hopefully, and obviously exchanged business cards with 20 different people, including all the guest speakers. So they've had Sam Gamble on. They've had who else? Jeff Joyner was the one I was just thinking about, and Jeff said like, what can you do that nobody else can do or nobody is willing to do? Like that's how you differentiate yourself in the marketplace. What is something that you can do that nobody else can do or nobody's willing to do? And you, with your background, like that's your bread and butter. The restaurant, the exterior needs, the interior needs. Like you're an advisor for them. You're like, hey, look, I know what it's like. Nobody cleans up the cigarette butts in the parking lot. You need it looking nice for Thursday, Friday. We can do that part of a weekly maintenance program. While we're here, we'll get the weeds, prune the shrubs. You're an advisor for that guy. Like you're their go-to guy.
Yeah. And that's exactly what it's been. It's, let's get rid of all this mulch and start putting, stone down, and we can match the stone to the facade of the restaurant, and it just makes it more appealing.
Sure.
For instance, one of the last stone jobs that we just completed in early December was at Bonefish, where you and I had met.
Yeah.
We're changing all of the landscaping over to the white stone, getting rid of all the mulch that's on that property.
Nice.
And the first island we completed and trimmed the palm trees on that island, put the white stone down, and it just makes the restaurant pop. You can really see the white trim on the restaurant itself because the white stone's in front.
That's
awesome. It just looks really good.
That's awesome.
And, I've also identified another problem that restaurants have, and I'm currently learning, and this is going to be added to my landscape company for 2024, is lighting. All the restaurants, their lighting is jacked up on the outside.
Sure.
So I'm really starting to learn how lighting is and the design of lighting and, what you should highlight and not highlight. And Bonefish has actually come to me and said, hey, let's do our lighting. Let's change our lighting. And I've told Bonefish, I said, this will be the first time that I ever do this. So I'm not going to charge you any labor. I'm just going to do it out of, the grace of me learning, but you have to allow me to learn.
Sure.
And they were like, absolutely, let's do it. Let's us buy all the equipment and everything that you need. And then you come out and you just do it on our restaurant and go from there. I'm like, this is going to be awesome.
That's
so it's going to be my little lab coming up is doing lighting for Bonefish and learning it from there.
Well, outside of that, Christmas lighting, I don't know if you guys ever considered that. You get one, you get all 10 restaurants or 5 restaurants in your, your
exactly.
area. I think that's I think that's genius. That's so smart. Like define your niche. Like what do they always say? The riches are in the niches. Yep,
they are.
But
they are.
Now let me ask you this. And we can keep talking landscaping in the restaurants. I love this. I'm just curious. We only got probably about 4 or 5 more minutes left. I just want to, more broadly speaking, talking about the business model that you got going on right now. Are you guys finding a lot of success with the landscaping? Do you have mowing going on as well? And then maybe what do you got future plans for 2024? Like where do you see this thing going?
It keeps pulling me, both ways, the maintenance side of it, the landscape side of it, and then throw in paver sealing and pressure washing. And I know I have a lot of irons in the fire right now, and I'm trying to get out of that aspect of, do everything, because I don't want to do everything. I want to specialize. I want to niche down.
Sure.
Or, and so I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to navigate it, but going from here forward in 2024, I think it's really going to be more of the landscape side with the restaurants and really start pushing it. I've linked up with Postcard Mania. I'm going to create a postcard that's for a restaurant, so I can send postcards out to restaurants, not direct mail, because I don't want them to or me waste my money,
right.
sending out to every restaurant. I'm actually going to hand pick restaurants that I want to send postcards to, and I'm going to hit them up every other month with a postcard, until they're like, you know what, let's give this guy a try.
Dude, before and afters on the back, like take the raggedy Outback to like the new like Egg Rock, front landscape, Xeriscape, that look awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I did a Carrabba's in like summer of 2023, and we put 12 yards of river rock around this Carrabba's. Wow. We removed all the mulch, all the dead vegetation, and really, really made this place shine, and it looked great. And so I'm like, at that point, I'm like, you know what, this is where I should be. This is what I should be doing. The money is here. The profit was there. The profit was 18, 22%, somewhere in that area.
How long?
I'm like,
how long did that job take you for example, on that? Because did you use a tractor for the river? Because that's a lot of stone.
That's a lot of stone, and that's a lot of back-breaking wheelbarrow work.
Oh yeah,
no doubt. So that job actually took 3 full days to do. And
okay.
I drive a Ford F-150, and I went and rented a dump trailer, and I put it was probably a total of 12,000 pounds on the back of a Ford F-150. And you want to talk about being scared. Holy crap. Now, I drive the EcoBoost F-150 4x4, which is only rated for 6,800 pounds. And I did 12,000 pounds on the back of it. Man, I was so scared I was about to break the transmission.
Oh my God.
Going up to speed was no problem, but slowing down was all the problem. Wow. I mean, just, whoa! Like, oh my God, it's about to break.
Oh my gosh.
I'll never do that again.
We've all seen all of that, man. Please don't. You know what I'm saying? You see guys pulling like, 8 ton, 6 ton, 4 ton machines, with like these F-150s or a Chevy 1500, and it's got the Carolina squat, even though it's not trying to, if you know what I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
That is really funny right there. Yeah. It's landscape and aggregate. One thing just to tell you guys, like the materials way more, maybe not more than you think, but you start pulling that stuff, it gets heavy. It gets heavy quick. Like you can feel 10 yards of mulch, 12 yards of mulch in a dump trailer. I'm telling you that.
You can.
Yeah. I mean, if it's only 10 minutes there and back, guys, like make 2 trips if you need to, like, or obviously the easy answer is upgrade the truck, but I'm kind of,
oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's just like, hey, easy to say $70,000 fix. Yeah. I mean, do it in time. You know what I mean? Don't roll the dice, man. Cause, last thing you need is some lady texting that cuts you off, God forbid.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Even though it's her fault, you're going to get dinged because you're overloaded, but, yeah, that's funny right there.
Yeah, it is.
Well, let me ask you this. Maybe winding down here because I do have a hard cutoff. I got to shift gears here in about 6 more minutes. Thursday's my podcast day. I got like 4 people back to back today, just so I can batch it out and have some sanity with my work-life balance. But I love hearing you guys' stories. I love getting you guys on the show. There's so much more that I know we can talk about. And like I said, I hope to link up with you in person next week and just say hey. And again, if there's time for lunch, great. If there's not, no big deal. But funny story, that Bonefish Grill that you were working at when we came down there for dinner.
Right.
That meal was phenomenal. Like Liz and I have been to Bonefish probably, 10 times since then, because it's like, we never had been to a Bonefish. I don't even think ever. And I was like, man, shout out to Bonefish Grill. They got some good food there.
They do.
We had one 2 miles down the road from our old apartment where we were living 2 months ago, and we DoorDash that, and it always like still be hot and like super tasty, man. So shout out to Bonefish. They can send a sponsored check later. So
exactly.
But let me give you the last 2 minutes, man. Anything you want to talk about, or anything that's been fun for you or learning along the way? I mean, you got 3 years into this thing. I mean, the paint's still wet on everything. Probably
it really is.
Try filling and adjusting every day. Talk about that, man, if you want.
Sure. Well, moving forward, you just got to be resilient in what you do. You got to take it on the chin every now and again, take those big L's, but just know tomorrow's a different day. Tomorrow you get to reset and start over and just keep moving forward. With our aspects and my company, I'll back up. I went to LAL this year for the first time, which was absolutely amazing. I loved making the connections with everybody and meeting everybody there, and seeing you and Liz again. But all your guest speakers, for me, everything resonated down to know your numbers. You better know your numbers. Have a tax accountant. Have a cycle CPA take care of you, which I met them there as well. And we're getting something started with them here really soon.
Cool.
But it's all about you know what you're doing on the number side. And I've neglected that the last couple of years. I've sat down and looked at checks and balances and go, oh, okay, there's more money in the account, so I guess I'm doing okay. But that's just not the way to look at it. I still have that shoebox of receipts, and so this year is going to be about streamlining the business, and everything that I learned from LAL, I'm going to try to incorporate into the business, where I create the employee handbook, with the help of L'Entrepreneur Academy, and go from there, making it more of a business, and not just what I do for a living.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, it's going to be a hard transition.
I'm right there with you. Like, I don't know if you heard the last couple of podcasts, but we're heavily integrating systems and structure and,
right.
People are like, you going to go to $1 million this year? I go, I don't know about that. I said, we'll grow. I said, hopefully, and my intent is, let me show you what I'm going to do in 2025. But first I got to lay the framework in 2024.
Right.
It doesn't mean,
I love that.
Yeah. It's like, I still got to put systems in place. We still have some excavation. We still got, some things to do to frame up and to systematize for our company, Now,
right.
I'm not going to get so down in the muck and the mire of that to where we don't, just still have a mob mentality and go out there and crush work, obviously. So we'll do what we did last year and then grow. But really, that's going to give us the opportunity to dominate in 2025 and 2026 and 2027.
Right.
So I love what you're saying there. I mean, because you can only neglect that side of the business for so long before this thing starts to get away from you.
Right. You just sparked something else, which is going to be a game changer for me for 2024. So up to this point, I have not put a single dollar to marketing. Everything that I've done has been word of mouth. My 40 plus residential clients, word of mouth only. All my restaurants is just who I am only. And other proprietors calling proprietors saying, hey, pick up this person. Everything has been word of mouth. And I've successfully made it to 152. Now I know that's probably my ceiling when it comes to word of mouth. So 2024 would be the first time I ever do marketing, and I can't wait to see what happens there.
That's going to be awesome.
And of course, the marketing side comes through the trailer and the uniforms too. So we're putting uniforms together. We're going to wrap the trailer. So, and that's all marketing, and if you don't think of that as a moving billboard going down the road with an enclosed trailer, it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But,
absolutely.
I'm really excited to see what happens when I actually put some effort to marketing. So.
Yeah. I was going to say, all of you guys listening in, I know Mr. Jolly Roger here. It's so funny. As mentioned, it's such a character. I mean, Liz follows you on Instagram, and we see the same thing. And, I will just like say R once in a while. She's like, yeah, we know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
'Cause we follow all you guys. We're always rooting for your guys' success too. But it's one thing that I was just going to say. Like, you plug Cycle and you plug Postcard Mania, and I did a video a couple weeks ago on YouTube. I said, like, don't reinvent the wheel. Like, for the love, I still want to do another podcast on that, but we've got all the brands in the YouTube description or the Instagram thing or the link tree on our Instagram. We've got the Equipment Defender racks. We've got the Rhino hitch. We've got the Cujo shoes, the ISO tunes. And it doesn't mean you have to use those brands necessarily, but like, people are always asking like, hey, what are you using for clothing or for hearing protection or for trailer racks? Like, without a franchise. And you know, people are like, oh, you're not a fan of Mike. No. Like, shout out to Mike Andrews. That's fine. You go franchise if you want a franchise. What I'm saying is like, you don't have to necessarily do that. You get the whole ball of wax. You got the list of vendors. Like, dude, you can use 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 of these with your business, even if you're in Florida to Texas to Michigan. And it's just like, dude, don't reinvent the wheel. Just crush it. And you can, like you said, facilitate that relationship with Postcard Mania, start an active marketing, offensive. Man, your company, you're sitting on $500,000. I mean, in the next 18 months, I know that. I know the drive. I know you're pumped. I know you want to make more money. I'm loving everything I'm hearing, man. And the cool thing is, like, I've been able to kind of watch this from afar. Like, I feel like you're like actually a friend, like a buddy. I'm like, dude, it's, you're 2,000 miles away, but I'm like, dude, go, let's go, man. We're rooting for you, man. So I guess my last thought is I'm excited for you, man. I'm proud of you. I know it's gonna be a big year for you. You got the mindset is there, and we're just pumped to see where you guys go, man.
Yeah, I greatly appreciate that. And I'll keep building it and see where it goes. And just keep being optimistic and moving forward. That's the philosophy.
I love it. I love it, man. Well, hey, let's do this. We'll kind of button it up right here. I got another one that's going to probably be calling me in about 10 seconds. So I was just going to say we'll wrap this up. But
Sure.
where can people find you on social, brother? And we'll kind of button it up there.
It's give me a better Yard Pirate everything, So find me on Yard Pirate, drop a follow. I'll follow you. Definitely. I'm not afraid to follow people back.
There you go.
And I'm pretty active on social media. I'll respond to almost everything. I'll even a bunch of shout outs and stuff.
There you go.
So it's cool. It's growing.
Love it, man. Love it. All right. Well, cool. Well, there's where you guys can follow along on social. Check them out at Yard Pirate. And if you guys need anything, give him a shout. If you're down in the Orlando area, man, network. I mean, he's got commercial sites and residential, and you guys can swap clients back and forth, refer each other back and forth, make friends. That's why we try to highlight where people are at. It's a community, man. Let's grow together. So,
let's do that.
Mr. Rogers, that's what I got, brother. Thank you so much for the time. Great job today.
I appreciate you, and tell Liz I said hello, and keep it going, man.
There you go. Amen, brother. All right, guys. Well, that's what we got for you on today's podcast episode. Appreciate you guys listening in. If we can ever help you guys out, shoot us a DM, shoot us an email. We're always here for you guys as well. Check out the list of vendors maybe if you want in the descriptions or on YouTube. We'll have some of these guys on the show here actually really soon. So appreciate you guys listening in as well. And keep crushing it, guys. Keep growing. Appreciate you guys listening in. Don't forget to hit that follow button in the top right corner if you guys want to be notified anytime we drop a new podcast episode. And as always, guys, for real, I know we say this quite a bit, but thank you. Thank you for listening in. Thank you for sharing. Thanks for making the podcast special. Thanks for sewing into it. I know it's sewing and pouring it into you guys as well to help you grow. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Can't thank you enough for listening in and taking time out of your day to listen to our podcast. You got a lot of options out there. So, guys, we love you. Have a great day. We'll catch up with you guys here on the next one.
Before you turn off the podcast, there are 2 things that we believe you will be highly interested in. First, if you're looking to stay up to date with the latest trends and insights in the world of lawn care, then you'll want to subscribe to our free email newsletter. It shows up in your inbox 3 times a week and includes a Monday motivational to kick off your week, a Wednesday what's new to keep you informed, and a Friday weekly recap of all the content we put out. The second thing is we have just launched Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Now you can be a part of an exclusive community that links you to those who can help you grow in your lawn care business. Joining Lawntrepreneur Link will give you the tools that you need to stay accountable, get real-time expert advice, and find belonging in a community of folks who are passionate about the lawn care industry just like you. Visit LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com to learn how Link membership gives you unique access to monthly hangouts, bidding hour calls, coaching calls, expert lessons, and more. Stay ahead of the curve and level up your business with a membership to the Lawntrepreneur Academy Link. Find an easy-to-use link in the podcast description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.